Good morning and welcome to March 6th. Welcome to March 6th. And Moopsy in the morning. Chris, you made me laugh when I saw that. Chris is on a 3-stream streak, and Chris says, I know, I'll try to do better. I think they only give you comments like that for like 3 and 5. Very limited. Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all doing good. It is with me this morning. I see Chris is here. As I posted last night, yesterday was not good. I was just telling Id this. I got to work yesterday. Hi, Wicked. And the stress of everything just was catching up with me, and I was literally shaking. And I couldn't feel my face. And I bought a coffee on the way to work, got to work and made a coffee, and my boss picks up my coffee and puts it down on my desk, looks at my other coffee cup, looks at my new coffee cup, other coffee cup, and then walked away. And then a little bit later came back and did the, are you okay? Not really. Fine, go home. Come back when you feel better. Take as much time as you need. So I'm taking a couple of days off here. That's why I didn't stream last night. I probably won't stream tomorrow. And at some point on Friday, I have to disassemble all the electronics and haul them over. Not that I don't trust the movers, but, computer, monitors, all that stuff, it's all fragile. If I break it in my car, fine. If they break it in their car, it's 6 cents a pound. It's not going to pay for itself. So I'm moving, Wicked. This is I was counting last night, 4th move in 8 months. And just working myself into a tizzy over it. But right now, almost everything except the desk, the few things on the desk, and dog bed and Jean-Luc are downstairs. I have 4 good bosses. I had to explain to all of them I was taking a couple of days off, and they're like, you should have taken time off before, It was a bad year. You should have taken a month off. Okay. It's just I like paychecks. But then I've got in the phone call to the guy who runs the money to go, I wonder if I can just take some permanent time off for the next 30 years. So we will find out about that in the next few weeks. Or maybe work part-time and slowly work in with Id to get the cookbook done, because right now there's no time to do the cookbook. There's no time to do anything. But we need to get the cookbook going because we need an income stream for Id.
Paychecks are nice.
Paychecks are nice, yes. But the thing is, to really make it work, we need to do at least 3 of them. Yeah, exactly, Wicked. We have to take one of the computers to Philadelphia. And it's the first thing that goes in the car, ahead of everything else except maybe the monitors, because I can always buy a new monitor. And, that's something that's completely viable, is to get almost to Philadelphia, to some suburb, stop at a Walmart, find a good monitor, take it with, leave Philadelphia, go back to that same one and go, doesn't quite fit, I'd like to return this. Which is a terrible thing, but as long as you return it intact, they can rebox it and resell it. Considering the monitor takes up the whole back seat. But going to Vegas, what was that, 3 years ago? 2 years ago, driving out to Vegas 2 years ago, I had every inch of space in my car perfectly packed so that everything would fit in it to get out there. Because it was a 4-day drive. I think 4 days to get out there. Because I had stuff I had to do. I had to go visit people. And then getting everything packed in just perfectly for the return trip was the second adventure. It's car Tetris. Fortunately, this move is 9 miles. It's not very far. Yeah, they can sell it as used, but, if you take it back to them and they don't lose any money, you're not the bad guy. Yes, dear, I hear you. Of course, we could always rent a monitor. This is a thing now at conventions. You can rent a monitor. They're like $1,000 for a 3-day rental. Fifi's growling. Buying one is cheaper, and you can sometimes return them. And what's the worst thing that happens? I wind up with another monitor. Oh no, the horror. No, definitely not worth it. We wanted to rent computers one year, and they're like, well, you can't do it if you're not a business. I have a business. Well, you don't have an established business. I've been in business 20 years. You don't have a, whatever it was. I have one of those. What about this? I have that. Or still not going to rent it to you. Fine. I'll just go buy some. No problems. But this year we're not doing gameplay. We're just going to do game demos. Gosh darn it. Next week, guys, once I get us set up at the new place, we need to do some gameplay so I can start making some demo records of it. Yeah, what kind of monitor made out of diamonds? Don't I wish? Speaking of, I think I have a cool display that I'm not going to do this year, but there's this new lamp that's out there that's just faceted glass, or probably even faceted plastic. So when you light it up, it does this really cool, like, rosette pattern on the ground. I'm thinking, get an acrylic or maybe semi-frosted acrylic tabletop, mount that thing on the bottom of it so it's radiating up through it. Might be a very cool looking thing. Chris bought an air fryer. Oh, Chris, I just saw the coolest thing where somebody was doing, we'd call it a pot pie. If I said pot pie, you know what I mean, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's usually a savory pie, crust on the bottom, crust on the top, but instead of putting it in their oven, they put it in their air fryer. And they said it was like the best thing ever.
My dad was a fan of the turkey pot pie.
Oh, yeah. And the chicken pot pie's killer, too. Look at Style says, see, you just had their first con. Yeah, I think you mentioned that. If you hear about it next year and we've got more than 5 minutes to get ready, I will head over there since it's only like 2.5 hour drive. And I have my favorite dirt cheap hotel in Champaign-Urbana.
For the local con we have down here, they're starting to announce guests. Lou Ferrigno's coming.
Really?
Tony Todd. Vincent, however you pronounce his last name.
How do you spell it? D-O-N-O-F. D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. Yeah, he's on the list.
Cool.
Corey Feldman. Already mentioned Tony Todd.
Yeah, I love Tony Todd. Are we
Sean
online,
Ashmore.
guys?
Yeah, we're live.
Huh. It's coming up on my Twitch that we are off the air. Let me reboot. There we go.
Yeah, might need a refresh.
Yeah, I did. So Star Trek Las Vegas for this year, only has 39 guests. Of that, it's the usual crew that are always there. Seeing if there's anybody new. Eric Menyuk will be there, which is cool. The usual team is there. And then one person I'd like to see is Matt Bradley Schwerge, who wrote a book called Star Trek Video Games, An Unofficial Guide to the Final Frontier, which I think would just be totally amazing to go talk to him. But that's it. There's not a lot of really interesting people this year, and only 39 with it being less than 4 months to go. That's really unusual. Normally at this point they have 100 plus. And last year, even with last year being last year, they had 100 plus. And San Francisco, which is this weekend, let's see what they've got. Theirs is not huge either, but it's more. I'm going to say there's probably around 30. But they've got Terry Metalis, Todd Stashwick. People I'd love to go meet again. John Delancey is there. It could be fun. But Vegas is so expensive. Sorry, San Francisco is so expensive. So I'm just clicking on this from id. That would be fun to go to. That would be fun, id, to go to. I love Stat. Do I travel very often? Not as much right now, no. Chris, how much did you pay for yours? I can guess an American $200. My son paid $25 at the thrift store for his air fryer. Lemuri says, I started watching Lower Decks tonight, and after the first scene, I thought to myself, wow, Mom was right, you need subtitles. Yeah, don't you? Oh my gosh. Okay, so Chris, you paid about the same as my son. He said it's a hugely great investment if you can find one for $25, because it's like everything you need an oven or a fryer for. The only pain in the butt is it takes up counter space, which I don't have much of at the moment. Chris, so you know we met Todd Stashwick last Vegas show, right? And of course everybody's talking Picard, as they should. And my comment to him was, so, I hear you're from Hoffman Estates. And he's like, yeah. And I said, I'm from Elgin. He's like, all right, next door neighbor. And he apparently was born at the hospital where I was doing my nursing clinicals, though he and I are of a similar age, so certainly not while I was doing my clinicals. But back to you, Wicked. While my husband was alive, I traveled a lot because he could watch the doggos. Now with having the doggos, that changes my travel considerably. Though it does argue for renting an RV for doing traveling, because then they can be with me, and we can stay in there and I don't have to rent hotel rooms. The bigger issue is I don't want to leave them alone in an RV when I'm in Vegas because it gets hot. And if you're not in there with them, you don't know how, if everything's going to stay working. Does the airco stay working? It should. If it doesn't, you have 2 dead dogs. So things for going to hot places like going to visit it or going to Vegas, I still have to make arrangements to find a hotel room or something so I know that they're safe. But a lot of hotels won't let you leave your dogs in the room when you're not there. Which kind of defeats the purpose of having the doggos with you.
Find a good Airbnb that has a good space in the backyard.
Yeah, and we'll let you bring a dog with. Not all Airbnbs will let you bring doggos with. So that takes travel into the slightly more adventurous range. So I think for going to conventions and the like, I will either drive or jump on a plane. But I think this DNI-Con will be our last convention as the Dark Mom Consortium, subject to change. Yeah, I've thought about animal hotels. My dogs are not the best with other doggos. I think that might be even more stressful than asking my son to stay at the house with them. Ooh, Chris's air fryer might be there today. Yeah, this is why we have children, Wicked, so they can watch our dogs for us. And yes, he will have the entire house. He can have friends over. He can party because his friends know my dogs. And, there's an advantage. As long as he cleans up the place when we're done, we're good. And if I play my cards right, I will leave him a small fortune when he dies. So he's aware of this and will suck up to his mom, even though we really do like each other no matter what. Like I said, he came over yesterday while I'm having a panic attack. And I will tell you, I know Xanax is a controlled substance, and I would never abuse it, but dang, that made life yesterday a lot better. Whew. No, Chris, you're 100% right. Microwaved food is there. I'm trying to think of what's good microwaved. Well, actually, microwaves have a good place in the kitchen, which is, let's say you're making a bechamel. And it's always better to heat up your liquid to add to your roux rather than putting it in cold, because when it's cold, it's more likely to lump up on you, even if you are whisking like crazy. So by preheating it, and then adding it into your brew, you can dump it in all at once, and it's nice and hot and dissolves the fat and releases the starch granules pretty evenly and smoothly, and you can get beautiful sauces. Wicked Style says, I disagree. We have a dog that I fully refuse to get. Got it anyway. Of course. That's how it goes. But other than that, I don't even like to microwave my coffee, because reheated microwave coffee just doesn't taste as good as fresh. Speaking of things that don't taste as good as they do fresh, I need to destroy 5 Borg ships.
I need, let's see.
And Chris has 10 Borg ships.
And
did everybody do their universal because it's stupid easy?
Yeah, no. 5,000 phaser damage on ground.
Okay. 2
harvest materials on ground. And 60 Zenkethi on ground.
Well, Chris has 30 Zenkethi ships and 10 Borg ship. Anybody else have stuff they need to do? Does anybody need Pavo?
I mean, I can run Pavo. But yeah, I'm a little over 11 hours before my next progression.
I just did it before I came on the air, so. Well, I'm going to say let's do some Borgy ships. Does anyone have Borg TFOs or just Borg ships? Because if we have Borg ships, we could do like Guillotine or 359 or Resistance of Starbase 1. We don't have to do a TFO. Or one of the Borg TFOs. We can have some fun. And then we can do Zenkethi Front. Does that work for everybody?
I'm down.
I'm sending out invitations here. Yeah, Hardbound's going us Borg stuff. Lemures, I saw you were in earlier. Do you want to join us? You joined us yesterday. How long do I plan on being on? Till 7 a.m. Dreadnoughts are the big ships that, if we're doing, let's say, 359 doesn't have a dreadnought, but in Guillotine, the 2 cubes that pop up at the end are dreadnoughts. In Zenkethi Front, there are a bunch of dreadnoughts that, no, hold it. There's only the 1 dreadnought at the end, right? How many dreadnoughts do you need, Lemurys? Well, tell me what you need, because that could change what we do real quick. If we do Hive Onslaught, just 3. Let's do Hive Onslaught, and then he can get all the Borg cubes. Those all count. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do Hive Onslaught. I want to focus on getting the Borg cubes, not the spheres or the assimilators, the cubes. I think you get shared goodies from us, but just to make sure. Wee woo?
Wee woo.
So anything that's marked a dreadnought is clearly a dreadnought. Borg cubes, the 2 toothbrush holders, and the Borg queen are all considered to be dreadnoughts as well. Oh, go give Alt some love. He was having a bad day the other day. And I'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, go give Alt some love. I sent him a message making sure he knew that we do appreciate him and love him. I don't know about next week yet, just because I have to go see how good the internet is. Yeah, go share love. Love is good. I'm going to try not to drink a ton of coffee today and see if that helps with the panic attacks.
You cannot defeat me. You cannot defeat the beloved.
Anytime, Wicked. Came for the pew-pew, stayed for the love. I kind of thought you might get some shared love out of that one. Doesn't always happen on ground, but in space it seems like the kills count across the team. I did try teaming to do the, oh, that was fast, the Romulan ground events, and it doesn't work. In fact, I couldn't even get credit for completing the event. So I wound up doing Vastum Peaks twice, then realized I had to separate into two different people. I think I'm missing one of my toys here. There it goes. Bye-bye, Queen.
I am eternal. Resistance. This is not the end.
That went smoothly.
Yes, it did. The thing with panic attacks is they're diagnosable, and if that's the case, if you get a doctor who says, yes, you had a panic attack, technically you can't be fired because of that. But a big company like Amazon can pretty much do anything that they want to. Laughing at Chris, not at you, Wicked. So I thought I was having panic attacks many years ago, and went to a doctor, and they're like, no, you're having an anxiety attack. It is different than a panic attack, which was news to me. Learn something new every day. I do believe we now have to do Zenkethi Front. Is everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay, Chris needs 30, so I'm going to queue us up for that. Weeboo? Oh, hold on, one sec, don't. Let me know when you're ready, Chris. Okay. There you go.
Wee woo.
Wee woo. Okay, so yeah, Chris, there is a difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack. The easiest definition or explanation between the two is if you are going through this high stress physical response, body shaking, mind going, all the symptoms, and you think you're going to die. Panic attack. If you're going through all of that, but that sensation or knowledge that you're about to die isn't present, it's an anxiety attack. Very similar, but they're actually different. They manifest the same way. And yesterday was the I'm going to die thing. I really thought I was. I was almost going to call the ER or an ambulance or something. And then I still went to work because, you know, that's what you do. But I was lucky. I had some Xanax left from when my husband was dying. That was such a good doctor. His dad had died of the same thing a couple months before, and he's like, therapy, Xanax, just enough to get you through this. Don't go on it forever. but definitely therapy. And then you can get some maintenance meds that aren't controlled substance. And I'm like, I don't really want drugs. And he's like, take the drugs. You will know if you need them. And he was right. Good doctor. And he only gave me enough to get through like 10 days. Even better doctor. I'll follow you, Chris. As soon as I figure out where you're going. Figure out where you're going.
Bombs away.
One base exploded. One. Wahahaha. Sorry. My count counts isn't great. So today's coffee is, since we were talking about coffee in chat earlier, is Puppy Bowl Blend, which comes out from Grounds and Hounds once a year for the Puppy Bowl. And it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. But since part of the money goes to support the Puppy Bowl and, rescues and all that good stuff, I always buy some. But then I got their really good one, which is the dog sleeps in my bed, which is an extra caffeinated one. Who's got a bomb? Chris has got another bomb. I don't know which one you're going to, Chris. We're going to the one that's got absolutely nothing here. Well, I'll protect you just in case you need it. I assume everybody knows you have to get a bomb and carry it someplace, right? Because I see some guy out here at a base just shooting things. And they will respawn. Which one are you going to, Ed?
I don't know. Need to find one.
There's a bottom one, there's a middle one, and there's a top one.
Okay.
Guys, let go. I need to go protect Ed. Stop shooting at me.
That is not a targetable one. Okay.
Yeah, use your mini-map. It's always the easier way. It'll show you what's going. You go to where Marcus is doing all that shooting up at that one. I think that one still needs to get got.
Your teammate has captured a bomb. Protect them. Well, if I still had the bomb.
Oh, it did the disappeary thing again?
Yep.
Yep. Well, somebody's got a bomb. Oh, Chris's bomb. Hey, you stay away from my starbase. I'm going to defend the starbase here for a little bit since we got 2 coming in, 3 coming in. There's some bombs over here if anybody wants them. Marcus here has a bomb. Marcus, go blow up a starbase. Unless you need help. Okay. I think our starbase is... No one's coming in here.
Only one Zinkethi base left.
Bomb away.
They're sending a dreadnought to stop us.
Oh, goody.
All Zinkethi bases destroyed. They have
Where
a
are we
dreadnought.
going? Over there. Okay. On my way.
There's a dreadnought on an attack vector. Destroy it.
I don't think I've got Tony Todd's signature.
We have defeated Zinkethi and defended the front with honor. Eros Olympus
Woo!
is now secure.
No, unfortunately, you exploding doesn't kill the base. Oh man, that's something they should consider adding as a trait. The equivalent of the Holdo maneuver. You can blow up your ship intentionally and see if it takes out the base. Let's see, what can we call that? William Wyndham played a character in the Doomsday Machine, the slightly psychotic... he wasn't an admiral, was he?
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about. And he goes straight down the throat and blows
Yeah.
his ship up. And it doesn't kill anything.
We have a Klingon who does that in
Yeah,
game.
yeah. So we need to name a maneuver after the two of them. Let's see. I know it was William Wyndham, but Commodore Decker.
Well, yeah, Will's father.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the character that kind of morphed into becoming Will Riker.
William Decker? Yeah.
Yeah. They really wanted to keep that lineage going, and they didn't, which is good, because that wasn't, hi, this is my dad died saving the Enterprise, and I'm here as 75 years later, and I'm his son. Okay, first of all, we're going to go with weird there.
Well, the whole Decker and Ilea thing are basically the same story as Will and Deanna.
Yeah, exactly. Other than not quite as weird.
You have a Deltan and a human, and then a Beta Z and human.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Both who have hypersexual appetites.
Yep. Well, at least Deanna's mother does. We know that.
Mm.
Deanna Maybe she does, but we don't get to see that very much in her character. Because let's be honest, that's not a character trait.
Right. But yeah, Roddenberry was really good at reskinning his ideas.
Yeah, he was. Deanna felt more toned down in that department. Absolutely. And
Probably
Lawaks,
human end.
yeah, I think Lawaksana played it correctly. Very sexual, but not like human sexual, which made it feel okay. Oh,
Like,
Chris, if you want to see something fun, come to a Star Trek convention where Marina Sirtis is talking in one of the either evening shows are the best when they do them, or the late afternoon shows where they've been out for cocktails first. Absolutely no filters.
Like it is confirmed that Q is a reskin of Trelane.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire production crew and writers were like, "This is just Trelane. Don't do it. People hated that character." It's like, no. Roddenberry was like, "The way I'm going to do it, people are going to love it."
Which we do. We do love our Q, don't we?
That's why I want Trelane in Strange New Worlds.
Because
That way, we can bring in Trelane, have some fun, and then Q go, yeah, he wasn't supposed to be doing that. We're going to put him in timeout. You're not going to remember any of this.
very good. I like that. I like that.
It's not the first time the Q's wiped people's memories.
This is true.
Like, I understand the reason behind why they did it, but there's that one episode of Voyager where the tribunal of the Q show up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a panel of 3 judges,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all wearing the robes from Encounter at Farpoint.
Uh-huh.
Why? Those aren't Q robes.
Well, okay, here would be my theory about that one. It's something that humans would identify as Q. Therefore, it's an instantaneous recognition point in our puny human brains as, oh, that's a Q robe. That must be a Q.
I get it, but it hurts.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I didn't say... But you have to think, the Q are thinking of us as little animals, and therefore they have to dumb down everything. Wasn't Q replicating our 21st century tribunal robes? Yes.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
The courts, the so-called kangaroo courts, were during the 2070s.
Yes.
So it's like, maybe that's why, and Janeway is a history buff, so she would know it.
Okay,
but
that's a possibility. Let's see, so we come back down to how much of the Q information was ever made available within Starfleet. Do you think they let that information out there? My guess is no.
No.
That's not something you want to share. So Janeway wouldn't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe as a captain she'd be warned about it, but when Q shows up on DS9...
Let me interrupt for one second.
O'Brien-
Captain B Money, thank you so much for the follow. Very nice of you. We appreciate it. Welcome aboard.
O'Brien's the one who has to give the rundown of who Q is and everything. It's like...
Yeah. She said in the first Q Voyager episode she's aware of him and Picard's reports on him. Okay, so they do set it up then in canon for her to understand that. But let's jump back to being in costume. Go back to Trelane. What does he appear in the first time around? Doesn't he appear in like 17th century or 18th century garb because he's thinking that's the timeline back on Earth?
Yeah, he's wearing like the blue frilly French nobility robes and stuff.
Right. But he never updates it versus Q, who appears in that to evoke that emotional response to the tribunals of the 21st century.
Yeah. And then he
Trelane is a
goes and does-
LARPer.
Yeah, and then he does the whole curly wig, powdered wig judge thing, and if that's not a Q move, I don't know what is.
Yeah. He just does cosplay.
Yeah, but if I was going to write this episode, do it with Strange New Worlds,
Mm-hmm.
and then have his punishment for messing around with Pike and them
Mm-hmm.
to be grounded and put on whatever the planet is, starts with a G.
I have no memory of what that planet is. Looking it up here. Gothos.
Yeah. So yeah, basically make his punishment that he's going to be grounded to Grathos for a period of time.
Yeah, and if they want to do the math, they can actually make it that less a few years, so he has time to reestablish himself. Good morning, Dante. How are you? Gateway system? No, that would be fun, though. That would be fun.
And get somebody go ahead.
I was just going to say, Dante, you missed the beginning where I am temporarily on leave from work for courtesy of full-blown panic attack yesterday. And having the best bosses in the world going, well, take some time off. We'll see you when you're better. Preferably before Monday when payroll is due. I mean, there are some limitations. My immediate boss, not our boss, can do payroll. It's just mean to blindside her at 9 o'clock on Sunday going, hey, I'm going to take Monday too. Can you do payroll? Versus letting her know, today I'm going to take Monday too. Can you do payroll? Okay, anyway, so that's it. Back to Gothos and the squire thereof.
Yep. I'd like someone like Tom Ellis for this role.
Tom Ellis.
Here's his IMDb page.
Oh, thank you. Oh, we have an ad coming in. Okay. I don't know him, but then I have never seen any of those shows. Oh, he was in Vera Drake. I should know him then. But, that's a long time ago. That's 20 years ago. He must have been a little kid.
You would love him in Lucifer.
One of these days, maybe I'll watch it. I do not have. Is it on TV or is it on internet-y type stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
It originally started off as a Fox series and then finished up at Netflix.
Yes.
It's based off of a what's his name? Neil Gaiman.
I love Neil Gaiman.
DC comic. Basically in the same, or at least the comics are in the same continuity as Sandman and all those. It's basically the Hellverse kind of thing.
See. I can watch it as part of Prime Video. For season 3 is the freebie at the moment. Let's see what else they've got in here. Let me jump up here.
Hello.
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 Yeah, it's all available right now on Prime Video.
Yeah. It should be up on Plex.
Oh, yeah, I haven't thought about that. How are you doing, Taz?
Just got home from trying to translate. I need Google. Give me a moment.
Okay. Chris, is that the same Constantine as in the movie Constantine?
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. There's even a crossover with the Arrowverse shows,
Which I haven't seen any of.
which
I stand corrected.
Tom
Now we
Ellis.
have an ad.
Yeah, which Tom Ellis's version of Lucifer shows up and helps Constantine and them.
Huh.
Closest translation I can find is that I'm Bennett a shrink's place.
Do you want a shrink space?
Place.
Like a doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The generic we've got here is therapist. Because that's kind of the catch-all for psychology, psychiatry, counseling, anything like that.
Yeah.
So going slightly off topic here, there was for a long time the Wisconsin Trade Federation, which handled a lot of business and travel. Excuse me, Wisconsin Travel Federation, that handled a lot of information for tourists. If you're in the States, you know that when you go into a state, there's usually a place on the major expressway saying, oh, here's a tourist stop for you to go in. There's bathrooms and vending machines and maps and stuff. Yes, Chris, as soon as we get out of commercial, let's go ahead and do something. And they recently, because they're Wisconsin, realized what the Wisconsin Tourist Federation looks like when they have their signs up. So they had to change their names to the Federation Board for Wisconsin. So it no longer has big signs all over the place going, WTF! Yeah, only Wisconsin takes months to figure that one out. Ooh, how nice. Hopefully they will do better with Constantine, the sequel, than they did with Matrix, the quadricle. The fourth movie did not do well.
It didn't, but I actually enjoyed it.
It wasn't a bad movie, it just didn't do well.
Yeah, and that had to do a lot with COVID and...
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like, what's the movie that just came out? Dune 2 they had originally wanted to get it out closer to Dune 1 and fortunately had the brains to go, hey, maybe we should wait till people are back in movie theaters.
Have you seen the Dune movie?
No, we're going this weekend. So if you've seen it, please don't tell me about it. I don't want to know.
Did you see the first one?
I'm actually going to rewatch it once I get into the new place this weekend because I saw it, but I gotta say I don't remember it that well. Give me a big movie, and sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 times to watch it to really appreciate it. Like, I did not love Pacific Rim the first time through, to which son and roommate promptly said, let's go watch it again. After they explained to me what I should be looking for to get kind of the bigger picture, and it's like, oh. So I've learned to watch movies a couple of times if they're really big movies.
I'd slip on The Matrix until it hit VHS.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of movies I didn't see until VHS or Betamax, if we want to get really old, or DVDs. All right, so we're out of commercials now. Taz, you want to join us to do something? We don't know what it is, just to do something.
There is one thing I got to ask about the first movie.
Sure.
There is a very significant part that is missing.
Which is?
The weirding modules. Where are those?
I don't know.
Because their sonic weaponry is kind of their 3D's calling card. It's really important.
I don't know. All I can tell you is I know the focus is on... Has anybody seen the second one yet?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay. So it doesn't appear in the second one?
I can't say anything more.
Okay. Well, since you said where are they?
I'm just like from the first movie. The wording modules are very important to the Dune story, and they are not involved in the first movie. You know those devices they connect to their...
Oh yeah, I know what the wording modules are. Absolutely, I know what the wording modules are.
Yeah.
So, Wicked Styles, we had a contest to name the channel the Dark Mom Consortium. The only thing that was out there is that it was run by Darkthorn and Brondo Mom. We had about 100 entries, and that was the winner one. Well, we couldn't come up with a good name. And some of them were good, and then Dante suggested the Dark Mom Consortium, and we went, yep, that's it. So, yeah, originally it was me and DT doing this all the time. Now DT has had major life stuff going on, and now he's getting married. Yay, him. I'm happy for him. Nope, no. So the whole reason we started doing live streaming is so we could suck up to the devs. 100%. This was kind of before live streaming was a big thing, so we've been around for a couple of years for live streaming Star Trek Online. And there's a few of us, and DT and I are like, well, hey, if we're going to try and make this profitable, I'll tell you how much money we make live streaming. We should do this and this and this as part of our grand scheme. And currently we make somewhere in the range of $20 a month live streaming. Yeah. Which pays for about a quarter of the internet charges. And nothing else. But hey, it's something. All right, I got a few minutes here since I am taking the day off and the dogs haven't woken up yet. I haven't figured out it's almost time to go out. So shall we do something else here?
I'm going for anything.
Okay. Anybody have anything they need to do before we get out of here?
Endeavors.
Yeah, you tell us what you need and we'll do them.
Destructible torpedoes, anti-proton damage ground, and destroy Terran ships. I think Terran ships would be the easiest one.
We can do Terran ships. Terran ships in space.
And enter the Badlands.
If it's just Terran ships in space, it doesn't have to be any place in particular.
No.
Okay, let's do.
Point.
Pardon? How about Jupiter Eratus?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And Lemures needs Terran ships while we're at it, so this should work out good. So Jupiter Eratus it is.
We will.
Wee woo. So if you got your space damage, you probably won't get destructible torpedoes. How many destructible torpedoes do you need?
16. Oh my god. I'll do that on my own. That's that's like an hour of camping in...
You want my trick for destructible torpedoes?
Yeah.
Start Scylla in Charybdis. The ships in the first sequence there's 3 ships and they will launch 1 protomatter torpedo at a time. Do that, go to the next one. The next one they launch 2 protomatter torpedoes at a time. Do that one. So now you've got 3 or 4 maybe. The next one, don't kill the ships. Park far enough away that you don't kill the ships. They will launch 3 at a time. It'll take you about 5 minutes to get all of your protomatter torpedoes.
I have 162 reroll tokens. Wouldn't it be easier to just reroll it?
Whatever works for you. Yeah, I tried camping out in the first one. Because once you kill all the ships, they're not going to launch anymore. So I found just camping it out in the second one works really good. What do I think the maintenance was for yesterday? Was there maintenance yesterday? There wasn't maintenance yesterday, was there? I thought we have I didn't see it pop up on my screen. I didn't see a patch.
My ship is embedded in this other ship.
That's not a good thing. Maybe they're making a new ship. Oh, it was for console. I have no idea what it was.
What is this? Farscape? Moya is pregnant again?
You're literally embedded in that ship.
That's what's going to happen there if you're not careful. Hey, Wicked, I just love that you showed up and then you were from CU, which is like, all right, that's even better. You don't have to throw money at me for me to love you. Not that I'm anti-money or anything, but
All ships, engage the Terran fleet.
I just appreciate you guys, period. I assure you, after
Farscape
yesterday...
Online?
Farscape Online, there you go. After yesterday, I know you guys are the bestest.
What did I miss yesterday?
Oh, I had some mental issues yesterday at work.
Ah,
Pretty bad ones, all related to this upcoming move. To which my boss is like, oh, "We'll go home and take time off until you can, deal with this. This isn't, just go get yourself healthy. That's all that matters to us." I love my boss. It was one of those, take care of anything that's critical. If it's not critical, can it wait till next week? Yes, then we'll do it next week. Love you. Of course, they were telling me to take time off when my husband died, too. Yeah, take a month off. I'm like, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. It's fine. Nah, I'm good. So other than working remotely for a couple of weeks, well, a couple of months, actually, I didn't take any time off then. Well, thank you, Wicked. And please support the
I don't
channels
feel
that
like
need it.
when I have mental issues, I don't feel like that's a time that I should be alone.
Well, I wasn't alone. It was my son's day off, so I sent him a little message going, "Hi, I'm having a panic attack," and took the day off of work. I took the rest of the week off of work, and he's like, "I'm on my way. I'll bring sushi." No, don't bring sushi. I don't have any plates or anything because they're all packed up. He said, "Okay, I'm on my way. We'll pack up stuff, take it over, and then we'll go get food."
Yeah.
Because he's my son.
I was trying to do a funnier side of a problem when I went to the shrink today,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "Well, with this attitude, you don't need me at all."
Well,
I'm like, "Oh,
I've found out that therapy isn't the best thing for me because I have a tendency to try and do exactly what the therapist is suggesting to make that person happy, as opposed to trying to go in and just deal with my issues. So it works great at one level and it works terribly at a different level. And I'm very aware that while I was emotionally okay to deal with my husband's death, because, I knew he was dying for 30 years. It was just a matter of time.
for what? How long?"
35 years from his initial cancer diagnosis till he
Oh,
died.
holy crap!
Yeah. A whole bunch. He'd get cured from one cancer and a new one would appear, and cured from that cancer and a new one would show up. And the last one, by the time he realized he had gotten cancer again, it had metastasized, so it was getting into the stopgap efforts to keep him alive, and then the realization that, nothing left to do at this point.
What kind of cancer? What?
First
triggered it?
first two rounds were two different types of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. After that, it was prostate that metastasized to the lungs, liver, and spine.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And the thing is, up until this last round, he did really well. The chemo was all experimental and very cutting edge with few side effects other than like reduced white counts and minor side effects.
Was he around stuff that could trigger any of that? Or?
He was in Vietnam, so yes.
Okay. I do.
Yeah, we know it was Agent Orange exposure. And it's actually one of the survival things. Survivor benefits is Vietnam vets who die of prostate cancer, if that's the diagnosis at death, are entitled to benefits, survivor benefits. So they knew this one.
Yeah, okay.
We've locked down the projector. Now they're ours for good.
Wicked, you said, what was he like at that point?
For like 35 years. That's
Yeah, 35
a
years.
long time.
He was diagnosed the first time out just before our son was born.
Enterprise
Wow.
is back near projector base.
So he couldn't be angry at that point because, got other priorities. Just deal with it and
Yeah.
get this done.
Take them out first.
And being Swedish, we don't show our emotions.
Yeah, I know how that works.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, emotions is like you keep them for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I being Swedish too, I'm like, okay, I get that.
The Enterprise is going for projector out.
So to answer your question, Wicked, he may have been, but he sure as heck wasn't going to tell me about this. Bearing in mind also that I was, at that point, 7 months pregnant. So he was not about to get me stressed out. And about the time I had my son, he was in remission, and then he was, technically cured and didn't come back for 10 years. So anyway, the whole point of this is I had a long time to get ready to deal with the fact that my husband's going to die. So we had...
How old did he get?
Pardon? He died
How
at
old did he get?
72. Excuse me,
So he
73.
basically had a full life.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
he, wow.
so, yeah,
Oh.
it's not like it was a short life. Admittedly, in his family, the men usually live into their 80s.
The Enterprise is near projector camp.
But still, he
18
had,
years.
he had a child, a house, lots of doggos, a normal life. Just throw in a handful of doctor visits while you're at it. But as I said, so financially, emotionally, career-wise, we were set up to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's not like, your best friend or your husband is in a car wreck and dies, and all of a sudden you are a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids, and you have to try and figure out how to deal with not just
Yeah.
the emotions, but everything else. I didn't have to deal with that.
That is good.
Yeah. So instead, what happens 4 months later? Ed dies, and it's all those emotions you thought you had all prepped. You don't.
No, that is kind of horrible.
So I can't
I
remember
had
the
a friend-
term. There's a term for when you maybe it is transference. All those emotions that you kind of had in check get slammed onto some other event.
You know what? I'm done.
Finally,
combined
Tilly.
into one
Well
kick.
done. We sent the Terrans home with a message.
I can understand that. It's
Be
like
prepared for the consequences.
it's kind of weird to compare it to animals, but when my first animal died, and I kind of involuntarily got my first dog replaced with another dog like 2 weeks after he died, so
Oh
I
my
didn't
gosh.
get time to grieve him.
Yeah.
And when the second dog dies, both of them came at the same time, so I went in.
Wow. Oh, that's tough. That's a
I
lot to deal
literally
with.
went and laid myself down in his bed and was like, okay, I'm not getting up from here again, ever.
No, I get that. We lost our first dog, Uhura, about about a year after my son was born.
Yeah,
And he didn't really understand it. I didn't really understand it. That was a rough one. Yes, I did name my dog for a Star Trek character. Because,
that is awful.
that's what we do. That's what we do in our household. Anyway, I'm going to go box up some more stuff, and I think I'm going to go attempt to make 3 or 4 trips over to the new place because it's not raining today. Yay! It was raining yesterday, so I had to back the car into my garage here and loaded up the car from the garage. Got to the new house, backed the car in, loaded up the car from the garage, back and forth.
Did you get your internet set up?
Maybe. I have the modem set up there, and it works on my phone, so I'm going to take the laptop with today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's an old school house, so everything is wired through a coax to the main modem downstairs.
Coax.
Yeah, coax. To the downstairs modem, and there's no other central hub, so I'm going to then have to hardwire everything back up to the office, which is upstairs. And the thought of, running cable through the house right now is one of those. You know what? I can just put it along the carpet till
That's like
next year.
10 megabits one way, half duplex.
I know. It's going to be interesting.
You can't use that.
We're going to see, because I still have time. It's the only internet company for that region, though. So here, I've got fiber coming into the house.
Yeah.
That's something. There I don't. But they're telling me that they've got 1.2 gig available. So we will see what it does. I will go in and do a little testing today.
I don't think I've played with coax since like 1996.
I know. But the house is a 1984 version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a 1984 house. It's an older house. It's very cute. It's a 40-year-old house. But I'm already doing okay, how much is it going to cost me to gut the bathroom and the kitchen? $60,000. Okay, so we'll budget $30,000 out of this year's budget to next year, and then we'll do it together. And then next year, I will have them come in and just gut all of that and redo it. Because the kitchen's small, and it's got little teeny tiny drawers. And I'm like, nothing I own is going to fit in this little teeny drawer, and it's all in cabinets. And no, we're redoing the kitchen. But I like the house in general, so it's a good house for me. So Wicked says, I just got emotional about that. Yeah, the thing is, you have to, when life throws it at you, you're going to have to prepare for it in some ways. And you can do it the bad way, which is, unfortunately, the Swedish way. We just take those emotions, we put them aside, and we don't deal with them. They're over there in a box, and we're not allowed to deal with them. And that's not necessarily healthy either. I mean, it was good. It got me through when he was first diagnosed, and his original diagnosis was 18 months, to which we're scrambling like, okay, I can get back to college this year as soon as the baby's born and work on a degree so I can go out there and make enough, because I could make some money but not enough. And my parents were like, yeah, we can help fund you while you do that, and we'll help take care of the baby while you do that. And then I get into college, and my husband goes through the treatment and does just fine. But that was the lesson. You don't drop out of college, then you finish the degree and you start up your career. Even if the cancer never comes back, you're ahead on the game. And then it did come back, but I was well established in a career, and my son was in grade school and came back, and he was in high school, and he kept fighting it very successfully, minimal side effects, and then came back 4 years ago, maybe 5 years now. Can't remember, and probably 5 years ago, and he didn't catch it for a year, and he didn't catch it until Fifi, this dog right here, ran around behind him on the leash and just took off and pulled him out, so he landed on his butt, and his hip didn't feel good for like 4 months, and he finally went to the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, it doesn't feel good because it's broken because you got cancer in the hip, which means you've got it someplace else first. So that's when they started doing some blood work, and they're like, oh, this is not good. Let's get you on some drugs right now. And those worked for a little bit, and then they stopped working, so they put him on some more drugs, and those didn't work, and by then it was every place. So it was just, trying to keep him comfortable and able to enjoy his life for as long as possible. Which is maybe the whole rule of it. Enjoy your life for as long as possible. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here because this is getting grim, and we don't need grim. We need lovely. So go out there and share your day with people you love. Plan for the future. And enjoy the present. And in the meantime, on the count of 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Say Moopsy! And thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. My coven just followed us. You guys take care. We'll see you later.